Hey, good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see you today. As you can see, we're starting to turn into mushroom season here, where it's dark when we wake up and dark when we go to sleep. That's just sort of what tends to happen around here when we move into fall, which is one of my favorite times. We've been having wild turkeys even coming up to our patio door window and looking in. So, who am I and why do you care? I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist, but I help women mainly in toxic and narcissistic relationships really get their life back. Whether it's from old family wounds or current relationships or children or coworkers or bosses, whatever it may be, we work on 5 main things to help rebuild you up so that you can really make choice from a strong position. So one of the things we're talking about today is we're talking about how it's almost impossible to stop your reaction to a narcissist. So the research and science is starting to show that although we consider ourselves one being, we're actually made up of all sorts of different beings. Let's say bacteria in our gut. And all of our cells have their own purpose. All of the different parts of our brain have their own purpose. And so really what's happening when we are reacting to a narcissist is that something in our brain says this is dangerous without us even consciously thinking it, without us even being aware that the thought was had. It's like a lightning strike, and suddenly your body goes from the frontal brain, where you can think rationally, into your amygdala, where it's locked up and where it puts you right into fight, flight, faint, freeze. You end up in a place of emotionality and protection. Now, there's no time lag between here. Many of the things that women get upset about themselves for is that they're like, how could I let this happen to me? How could I lose control like that? How could I not stand up for myself? How could I go back into that same pattern I did when I was a kid? That's a very normal question, because a lot of women who are in narcissistic relationships are actually very strong. They've done a lot of their inner work. They've found their own strength. And the most frustrating part is a narcissist will say one thing or do one thing, and we're right back into that same reaction of our stomach knotting up or our jaw tightening or our shoulders tightening. Well, let me tell you, first of all, it's not your fault, because it's your body saying that it feels like it's in danger when a narcissist is having a bad day. It tells you that you need to protect yourself and run. But that's not something that's really underneath your control. But what causes your body to go into that is when it feels a little bit more fragile, when it feels more sensitive, when it doesn't feel as strong and grounded, when it feels out of sorts. And this can be caused by a lot of things. Our feeling of instability and our body's willingness to go into protection mode all depends on how strong we actually are, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So you get physically strong by having healthy habits and by figuring out how your body works so that you can take back the control of how you feel instead of having it out there and having a narcissist trigger at any time. You also have to work on your head, and you work on the thoughts and the experiences that you've had that keep you trapped in the patterns. Thoughts like, no one else will ever want you, or you'll never be able to do it by yourself, or it's going to be too hard, or it's not worth it. All of those thoughts need to start to change, because it's those thoughts that keep us trapped where we're at. We also have to work on our spirit, our emotional part. We have to find a safe place. We have to revisit those things that keep us trapped in that same reaction, that tells our body that, yes, we want to get upset, or yes, we want to be hurt. We have to work on those parts, not with the narcissist, but separate from the narcissist, in a safe place, with safe people that you can trust and respect. Those are all the things that when you start to work on them, then you start to think clearer. You get your body back. You make better decisions. And eventually, in fact, it doesn't take that long, you discover that you have the ability to make clear decisions, that the narcissist isn't dragging you all over the world emotionally, and that you feel comfortable and confident because you know you've got all the skills and tools that you need. So it's a shift, but it's a shift in how you feel about yourself, and it's a shift in what you think is possible, and it's a shift in how you feel overall. And when you work on those things, then your amygdala isn't so happy to immediately go into fight or flight. In fact, it stays in the rational mind, making good decisions for longer and longer periods of time and more often. And so you start to finally take back control of your life. So if you're feeling out of control, reach out and message me. I've got a private coaching group that I run. I do one-on-one coaching. And we're going to be launching soon a whole comprehensive thing where it's a monthly subscription where you get the group coaching, you get the private group, and then you also get one-to-one coaching and email support in between. So we're working on pulling that together. So reach out and I'll send you an application. Okay? So have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.